I wanted to talk about the culture of gaming just as a whole because it annoys me when people put it down. People who have no business in gaming culture. And what I mean by that is individuals like Anita Sarkeesian, who never even picked up a controller before she started her activism in 2016, but claims to be a gamer her entire life. She comes to stick her nose into everything and then put people down and say the entire industry is sexist without any proof whatsoever. And then they rely on people like Zoe Quinn, who caused a game developer to tragically take his own life and not take any responsibility for it. I'm so sick and tired of these people condemning everyone. It is just not where we as a society and a community of video gamers should be at. We should be at this point where we're like, I don't care who you are, what you are, how you identify. As long as you're cool with me, I'm cool with you. We need to just put the politics aside and we need to just play games. Am I saying that there's not sexism in the workplace? There's sexism everywhere. It's a fact of life. It sucks, but it's everywhere. And I think that it needs to be dealt with. But at the same time, it's not running rampant and it goes both ways. It goes both ways. I love how Anita constantly puts it in the realm of men. How everything's man's fault. And she puts these things in like the male gaze, which is stupid. Because if you don't know what the male gaze is, the male gaze is the idea that anything that is of a sexual nature in regards to a female, such as revealing clothes in regards to armor, and Anita talking about the impracticality of body armor worn in a fictional video game about ninjas or whatever, like an Assassin's Creed armor being skimpy and not being practical in a fictional video game world. And she's just thinking to herself like, yeah, this is a good thing to spew out. This is a good thing to talk about. And she talks about this stuff and puts men down over and over again. And the male gaze, which is what I was talking about. I'm sorry, I lose track. But the male gaze is that anything sexual about a woman in a video game is made for male eyes only. Now it amazes me because these people usually talk about being, pro woman and pro LGBT and all this other stuff. So they erase bisexuals and lesbians. Because if they're saying that the male gaze, anything sexual about a woman in a video game, is made for the male eye and the male eye only, then they're excluding bisexuals and lesbians from the conversation. And that just has always rubbed me the wrong way. Now, am I actually honestly angry about it? Not really. I like calling out hypocrisy. I laugh at it. It's funny. But at the same time, there are people that really do look at this, and they're like, this is a good thing to say. There are LGBT people that actually agree with the whole male gaze concept, and I'm like, you guys are erasing bisexual and lesbian people, because I assure you, people like Mecha Random 42, who's a bisexual, I assure you, she loves boobs. She has made it clear on her streams she loves boobs. And so for you to say that she doesn't exist and that we need to take out those skimpy suits because of the male gaze and it's over sexualizing a bunch of polygons, then that's just ridiculous. But that's only one part of the gaming atmosphere that's being taken over. We are getting hotlines put in place for gamers. And I'm thinking to myself, why? why don't you just look? If you're in such a distraught place, you should not be calling a gaming hotline. You should be calling a normal hotline. And I've read the story behind this and all this other stuff. Anita Sarkeesian has a hotline, and I read the story behind it, and it does connect you to other services. But here's the thing: you can report anything, because knowing Anita Sarkeesian, she wouldn't even fact check a person if they said they were being mistreated, because Anita's so confident in going head first into anything and ruining people's careers if it means believing all women, because she has stated believe all women multiple times. It's just a fact of life. People are tired of feminism and social justice in their games. If you're a feminist and you play video games, fine. That's perfectly fine. But don't complain, don't bitch and moan about this stuff. You're changing games that are supposed to have historical relevance. Like the Call of Duty series, which is based on history. That whole debacle where you had the female, the woman on the front of the cover, that's not historically accurate. And if you're a game based on history, you have to be historically accurate. But these companies and these corporations are bending over backwards for a fraction of the community. A fraction. I've seen so many LGBT people call this bullcrap out because they don't want to be associated with this. They don't want to be associated with this feminist frequency levels of, disdain for the gaming industry. They know that not all gamers are bad. And to top it all off, that hotline does reference Zoe Quinn quite heavily. So if you're a hotline that's meant to help people in distressed situations, dealing with distressing things, and you're referencing Zoe Quinn multiple times in her quote activism when she actively got a man to put himself to forever sleep, that makes me question even more the legitimacy of your hotline. I don't trust this stuff. These people are coming in slowly, and they're trickling in, and they're poisoning the video game atmosphere. Instead of making their own content, their own type of video games, their own female-led, non-binary characters, their own original stuff, they're turning the game industry into Hollywood, where they take already existing properties and they transform them instead of coming up with their own ideas and making content for themselves. I just want people to think about this. Just think about it. Nobody cares if there's feminism and feminist video games out there. We care that you're trying to poison already existing franchises because you're so void of creativity. You're so void of thought that you have to latch yourself onto something that's already existing. And this is bad for the games market. It really is. It really is bad for the games market. I just don't see how anybody can think that that's a good idea, feminist or otherwise. Because I know there are logical thinking feminists out there that don't side with this, like Christina Hoff Sommers. We need to get gaming back in order. It needs to be put back to the way it was. When we're censoring words in video games that are rated M for mature, then we have gone way too far. And the gaming industry is being basically bent over backwards for, like I said, a small group of people who get offended by everything. And all I have to say is, maybe if you get offended by everything, maybe don't play video games. Because that's not the avenue for you. It's just not. Because when companies are censoring words to mature rated games, that's when I have a problem. It's not like Animal Crossing where, yes, it makes full sense that you would censor swear words in an Animal Crossing game, but not a freaking Assassin's Creed game. But those are my thoughts. The gaming industry is being poisoned. It is. And I'm not attacking it solely because it's feminist. I'm attacking it because it's radical feminism coming in to take over, and they're saying everything is sexist. Anita has said it over and over again. Everything is racist, everything is sexist, everything is misogynistic, and we need to call it all out. And so you can understand why I don't trust her doing this garbage. I just don't. I can be friends with people who are feminists. I think I am friends with a few feminists. But overall, radical feminism, like extremist feminism, is attacking the gaming industry. We need to make sure that we're on our guard. We just do. It's one thing that we absolutely need to make sure that we're on our guard for. Thank you guys so much for listening to this video. I really appreciate it. If you liked it, hit the like button. If you didn't like it, hit the dislike button. Comment down below telling me what you think. Thank you for watching this video. This is Gabe of Happy Blobfish Productions, signing off saying take care and God bless. Oh, and please, don't ever harass anybody that I mention in these videos. Thank you.